You are listening to the Cricket Corner podcast with me, Vatsal Vora. Welcome back to the Cricket Corner podcast for this relatively short episode here because there is not a lot to talk about, but the news are that India have announced their squad for the remaining 3 test matches against England. The series, if you're not aware, is tied at 1-1. England won the first test match in Hyderabad and India did win the second test match by 106 runs in Visakhapatnam last week. And prior to the start of the test series, India had announced squad for just the opening 2 test matches, but they have now announced the squad for the remainder of the series, the next 3 test matches. And the big news to come out of this squad selection is that Virat Kohli is set to miss the entirety of the test series. He wasn't part of the test series in the early stages as well. He was not part of the squad for the opening 2 tests, and now it's been confirmed that he's not going to play a part in the whole series now because he's not been named in the squad for the remainder of the 3 test matches which are set to be played later this month and leading into the month of March. It is still the same personal reasons why he is not part of the squad. It was the same reason for him not being part of the squad in the first 2 test matches as well, and now the same reason is still out there. It still persists with the same reason of personal reasons, and in this moment all we can do is just hope that the Kohli family is doing really well, and all our thoughts are with them. And let's not speculate what's happening, what's not happening. Let's not read what's going on social media and stuff. Let's not just make assumptions in these matters. Let's give them the privacy that they deserve and just simply move on and talk about cricket, which is why this podcast exists, to be honest with you. So a couple of exclusions which I really need to talk about. One of them is Virat Kohli, and we'll talk about him in more detail towards the as the podcast goes along. But there is also a big exclusion, and that is in the form of Shreyas Iyer. Now, Shreyas Iyer did not have the best of the test. He hasn't had the best of the test series so far. In the 2 test matches that he has played, he has barely scored any runs, and it shows that there could be some argument stating that his form hasn't been quite good enough, but apparently he has picked up a niggle, and that is the reason why he's been left out of the squad. I cannot find the exact idea of what happened to Shreyas Iyer, but apparently there were rumors stating that he has picked up a knock, and that is the reason why he's not part of the squad which is going to play in the 3 test matches to follow. And in place, both Ravindra Jadeja and KL Rahul have come back into the squad. Both of the players played in the first test match, but Ravindra Jadeja picked up a hamstring injury while KL Rahul had a quad niggle. We all expected KL Rahul to be back sooner rather than later because quad niggle is something not as big of a deal, but there were question marks surrounding the availability of Ravindra Jadeja because a hamstring is a really tough injury to come back from, but apparently it feels like it was just a precaution for him to sit out of the Visakhapatnam test match, and Ravindra Jadeja is now back and hopefully fit to play in the 3rd test match. So without further ado, let's talk about the squad, and then we'll talk about who's in and who's out in much more detail. That the squad goes as follows: Rohit Sharma as captain, Jasprit Bumrah as the vice captain, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, Rajat Patidar, Sarfaraz Khan. They both keep their place in the squad. Dhruv Jurel, KS Bharat, Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, Mukesh Kumar and Akash Deep, who has gotten his first call-up into an Indian squad. Whom does he replace? I think there was Saurabh Kumar who has gone out of this squad, and Shreyas Iyer as well, and I think Akash Deep is the reason why he is back in the team. I've got the BCCI website open right in front of me, And there are a couple of notes here, and the first one is surrounding the availability of Virat Kohli. The website states that Virat Kohli will remain unavailable for selection for the remainder of the series due to personal reasons. The board fully respects and supports Mr. Kohli's decision. So that's not a lot to go along based on the statement that the BCCI have put on their website. The second note states the selection criteria regarding Ravindra Jadeja and KL Rahul, and the statement goes as follows. The participation of Ravindra Jadeja and KL Rahul is subject to fitness clearance from the BCCI medical team. So, does that state that they are still not 100% and could theoretically miss the third test match in Rajkot? I don't know, because the squad has been announced 5 days before the start of the third test match. So, they still have enough time to come back and be fit for the third test match. So, hopefully they are back, because both of them have been really important. Particularly someone like Ravindra Jadeja is not only important with the bat, but is crucial with the ball as well. And if both KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja are available for selection, then that would mean that the team would once again go on and be changed for the third test match. There won't be wholesome changes, but there will be wholesale changes, but there will be some changes in the squad, because Shreyas Iyer is out. So does that mean that KL Rahul will straight away take his place, and that will be a like for like change at number 4 or number 5? Only time will tell that, because Rajat Patidar did play well in the first innings. He scored some 30 odd runs, but was really shaky in the second innings. But hopefully Team India give him another chance and not just replace KL Rahul with not just replace Patidar with KL Rahul and bring in someone like Sarfaraz Khan, even though I am really excited to see Sarfaraz Khan play. Another permutation which Team India could make is regarding the selection of Shrikar Bharat. Now, Shrikar Bharat has been okay with the gloves, but has been relatively poor with the bat. And does that mean that his place as the wicketkeeper in this test squad is up for grabs? And if it is up for grabs, is KL Rahul the one who should take the gloves? KL Rahul has kept wickets quite a lot in the past 12 months or so. He was the Indian wicketkeeper at the World Cup. He did keep wickets in the 2 test matches that India played in South Africa, but keeping wickets in India is a completely different ball game altogether. The ball keeps low, the ball spins, you have to be on your guards all the time when you are up there right behind the stumps when the 3 spinners are operating. Is KL Rahul capable of doing that? If so, then I think he should be the one who takes the place of Shrikar Bharat in the playing 11, and the void vacated by Shreyas Iyer should be taken by Sarfaraz Khan, because Sarfaraz Khan has been in excellent form in domestic and List A cricket, in domestic and India A cricket, when they played a couple of first class matches against the England Lions last month. So he is one of the most deserving players to get a nod in the test setup. So do India make that brave call and make sure that both Sarfaraz Khan and KL Rahul are in the playing 11, and they drop someone like Shrikar Bharat and replace one of the two with Shreyas Iyer? That is a possibility which I really want to see, but I think if you think rationally, I think Shrikar Bharat is set to be the wicketkeeper for the third test match at least, and I expect KL Rahul to be the one who comes into this team in place of Shreyas Iyer, and Sarfaraz Khan would have to wait for a little bit longer. What else do we have? We have Ravindra Jadeja, who is back in the squad. Doesn't mean that he will play the third test match, but he's at least back in the squad. Let's say if he is fit enough to play in the third test match in Rajkot, which is almost the area from where he comes from, Saurashtra in Gujarat. So it will be an extra incentive for someone like Ravindra Jadeja to be fit and back playing in front of his home fans. If he's fit, I think it's a very, very simple like for like change there, that you just pick Ravindra Jadeja in place of Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav did bowl really well in the second test match in Visakhapatnam. I think he picked up 3 wickets in the first innings, if I'm not wrong. And I think, yeah, he did. And 6 wickets were picked up by Jasprit Bumrah, weren't they? So that is one of the options that India can go for. And I think that is one of the most easiest changes that India could make. If Ravindra Jadeja is fit, just replace him with Kuldeep Yadav. Not only gives you a spinner, but extends your batting depth as well. And I think India would want to do that should Ravindra Jadeja be fit. There's also Mohammad Siraj, who is back in the squad as well. He wasn't part of the squad for the second test match in Visakhapatnam, which saw Mukesh Kumar lead the bowling attack along with Jasprit Bumrah. But there are rumors circulating that Bumrah might be rested for the third test match, and this is not a preview for the third test match. We'll do that in a separate podcast. But if that is the case, then Mohammad Siraj will have to lead the attack and Mukesh Kumar will have to play in that third test match. Yes, Mukesh Kumar was really underwhelming in that Visakhapatnam test match and only picked up 1 wicket, which was towards the end of England's second innings. But if the management are willing to give Bumrah a rest in the third test match, then I expect Siraj and Mukesh Kumar to lead India's fast bowling unit. Akashdeep is still in there, but I think it is a bit too early for him to expect a debut. Maybe circumstances lead to him making a debut in the 4th or the 5th test match, but it feels like way too early for someone like him to make his debut in the 3rd test match. But it's good to see him in the squad as well. The 3rd test match will commence on February the 15th in Rajkot, while the 4th test match will be played in Ranchi from the 23rd of February, and the 5th and the final test match is played in Dharamshala from the 7th of March. So it's pretty similar to how the test series has gone on so far. You play 2 test matches close to one another and then you have a prolonged break. I think that is going to be the similar case with the 3rd and 4th test matches. You play them in close proximity, get a bit of break, go to Dharamshala and play the final test match. So this is the news coming. These are the news coming out of the Indian camp. I'll just go through the squad yet again. It's Rohit Sharma as captain, Jasprit Bumrah as vice captain. Then you have Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, Rajat Patidar, Sarfaraz Khan, Dhruv Jurel, KS Bharat, Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, Mukesh Kumar and Akashdeep. Once again, Virat Kohli is unavailable for selection and he's going to miss his first full test series since he made his test debut for India all the way back in 2011. That shows how much he loves test cricket, and I'm sure it is something very close to his heart that he's going to miss his favorite format, and I hope he comes back a beast in the IPL and in the World T20 later this year. And of course, there is no Mohammad Shami as well. We barely mentioned him in this podcast, but yeah, he is not there as well, and so is Shreyas Iyer, who is also being ruled out. So those are the news coming out of the Indian camp. What about the English camp? Not a lot news coming out of the England camp in this short break between the 2nd and the 3rd test match. The only news which I read regarding England is that Jack Leach is still a doubt for the 3rd test match in Rajkot, but I don't think the England management and Ben Stokes would be particularly worried about that because their young spinners have done exceptionally well. Tom Hartley has been leading the spin attack really well. Rehan Ahmed has been bowling well. He's batting well as well. And Tom Hartley is also a really good lower order batter from what we have seen in the first 2 test matches. And Shoaib Bashir did pick up 3 wickets on his debut in the first innings, so he's only going to get better from now on. So I don't think England would personally miss Jack Leach, because if you need experience, you've always got James Anderson in there, and you've also got Joe Root. There were talks stating that England might go for two seamers. They'll play both Anderson and one of Ollie Robinson or Mark Wood, but only time will tell. We'll talk about these in much more detail when we preview the third test match later next week. So stay tuned for that. But so far, nothing major happening from the English side of things. They are, I think, still in Abu Dhabi for a short break, and they are expected to come back just a couple of days before the start of the third test match, which, as I mentioned, commences from the 15th of February. So yeah, this is a short podcast covering India's squad for all three remaining test matches in the series. The series is locked 1-1, and hopefully we are going to have some incredible cricket being played for the remainder 1 month leading up to the Indian Premier Leagues. This is me, Vatsalvora, signing off. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Make sure you are liking, sharing and subscribing on YouTube. If you are listening this on Apple Podcast or Spotify, make sure you are giving me those wonderful 5-star ratings. But yeah, this is me signing off. Ciao for now.